This is attorney Amos Jones, and today I had intended to be at the commencement of Campbell University's law school graduation in downtown Raleigh to support my students who are graduating today. Congratulations to you. I remain preoccupied here in downtown Washington, D.C., so I'm making this announcement closer to the Supreme Court of the United States than to the North Carolina Supreme Court. Today, my friends, I am presenting a commendation that I had intended to air here during March. March, of course, was Women's History Month in the United States, and as a legal historian, I have a particular woman that I want to lift up on this special day in the life of Campbell Law School. And this is a woman who is a historic woman in the life of North Carolina law, a woman who exemplifies the fight for creativity and social progress. That person is your Professor Melissa Essary. Melissa Essary served as the fourth dean and the first female dean in the now 42-year history of the Campbell University Norman Adrian Wiggins School of Law in Raleigh, North Carolina. She was recruited away from Baylor University Law School's faculty around 2006 and served as Campbell Law's dean from 2006 to 2012. In that position, Melissa Essary valiantly relocated the law school from the tiny town of Buies Creek, North Carolina, to the nerve center of downtown Raleigh, riding a wave of growth and prosperity in one of our country's most dynamic regions. But it was her embrace of a kind of affirmative action for white women that merits her recognition today. Melissa was the master of hiring strong visiting professors as a vehicle for faculty integration because men had dominated that place for decades. And with the powers of her dean's suite, Melissa Essary, as a woman, made certain to hire female visiting professors onto her temporary faculty. And such women were positioned thereby to ease their ways all the way into the tenure track and on up. White female beneficiaries of Melissa's vision formed and form a critical mass of white women faculty like Melissa Essary to this very day. And some of these have been retained, promoted, and or otherwise elevated almost beyond belief. Now, unfortunately, I was the only African-American person hired onto Melissa's full-time faculty under her tenure. But after she stepped down, her successor, Vice Dean Keith Faulkner, who one-time Vice Dean, who became interim Dean of the law school, who's a fine administrator. He's now Dean of Jerry Falwell's Liberty University Law School in Virginia. Keith came in and Keith appointed me the Vice Chair of Faculty Recruitment. And I was pleased to help our faculty hire our very first black woman faculty member on the full-time tenure track faculty ever in the history of the school. It had never happened. So we hired a black woman, finally, a black woman, and in her own way, Melissa Essary, and having encouraged me to accept the faculty's unanimous vote for me to join the faculty back in 2010, 2011, helped to create a space finally for a black woman to join the faculty of her school. Unfortunately, this semester, spring 2018, has endured the departure of two full-time temporary black female professors from Campbell Law. Highly qualified, Ivy League educated, award-winning professors, authors, gone, just like that. And at the same time, we've witnessed the speaking of a racial slur high in the school, and that's coming out in a federal investigation involving people left there without black faculty leadership. It's a bad situation, but that's not MelissaEssary's deanship we're talking about now. This is a different situation. But Campbell Law School is going to change. They remain under a 2017 ultimatum. It's time to tenure a black person. 0 after all these years is not enough. The Langston Writers Conference was advised. The black male professors from America around the country have been advised of the dearth and what should be an opportunity now, especially with federal litigation ongoing. Federal litigation that Campbell University is engaging in. They will fight to keep it white. They're fighting hard to keep it as white as they can in 2018. But nevertheless, Melissa Essary is honored today. Melissa Essary sponsored and signed my own admission to the bar of the Supreme Court of the United States in 2012, and her signature is proudly on my certificate. She's a strong Baptist Christian woman who knows that one day we will all meet our Maker and stand before God and give an accounting in judgment for what we did and did not do. So today, as Campbell Law School holds its graduation, I salute the extent to which Melissa Essary worked to advance white women on Campbell Law's faculty. Though there are no tenured black people at all, zero, after all these years, I trust that Melissa Essary will raise her voice in the spirit of the following email message that she wrote to me personally in March of 2016. And Melissa Essary wrote as follows in this email message to me over my tenure application. She wrote, I'm not sure, she wrote, Amos, I'm not sure what happened, but it's clear that at this point, the application hasn't moved through the normal processes. I do think, as you noted below, that your sabbatical probably played a role in that. By the way, I did not have a sabbatical. I had an unpaid leave at the University of Oxford's Faculty of Law, where I was an academic visitor when Campbell University tabled my tenure application and didn't tell me for about 5 months. So it was not a sabbatical. I was working for free, in fact, on the admissions committee so that some of you who are there now graduating today could come into our school. Some of you at the graduation, at least, could come into our school entering, as it were, in 2016. You'll be 3Ls next year. In any case, she says, my advice, apply next year. You are uniformly loved, she wrote, admired and valued by all. I don't anticipate even a hint of anything other than a smooth process next year. We can talk more in person about it. You know, I think you are the best! Exclamation point. This is Melissa Essary, a fine administrator, fighting to get women and diversified faculty in place. She succeeded. I love Dean Essary. She is a wonderful person. In March of 2016, she discussed the unfortunate handling by the law faculty of my tenure application on my request. My tenure application had been disregarded and is now the subject of federal litigation, in which we now have cited in the first amended complaint numerous documents written by school officials specifically recognizing and discussing my in-progress tenure applications. I hope that you pull the first amended complaint and read the documentary proof. In fact, my next tribute in one of these videos will be to Colonel William Woodruff, the retired professor, because his long letter from March of 2016 encouraged me to correct the faculty botched tenure application process. And that long missive is a doozy. I'll be reading that soon over the next month, so right here for you. But today, Campbell Law School celebrates commencement. The commencement at Memorial Hall in Raleigh is having a speaker, a prominent speaker, who's keynoting that event. It's none other than Donald Trump's political appointee, who wrote the memorandum asking Donald Trump, rather encouraging Donald Trump, strongly urging Donald Trump to fire FBI Director James Comey. So that is the commencement speaker, the Donald Trump political appointee, who wrote the rationale for firing James Comey, which President Trump promptly did. This Trump appointee at the Justice Department will address a graduating class of students, but he also will go before a faculty devoid of a single black tenured professor. An incredibly remarkable dearth in a day like today. 0 blacks on the tenured faculty in 2018. Still none. 0. And Campbell Law School is fighting in court in Washington, D.C. to keep it white at all costs. I'm counting on Melissa Essary to once again rise to her Christian convictions and change this sorry state of affairs in her school's personnel practices. You can do it. Campbell Law School students and alumni deserve better. The faculty deserve better, and everybody on earth knows it. To the students today, I say Godspeed and good luck on the bar exam. We, as your professors, have prepared you extraordinarily well for that, if nothing else. Congratulations.